What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Central District Tournament Preview. I know I've been gone for the whole month of February. I had a lot of commitments that I just couldn't rearrange and a new work schedule that I was still trying to figure out. But I'm back for the Central District Tournament, and I will go over quickly all of the games that we had since January 21st. And then give you my thoughts on how the district tournament is going to start out, starting with tonight's opponents, Olney Central and Lakeland. And I guess the best way to start it is with the 9 seed, the Olney Central Blue Knights. Olney Central, the last time we saw them, they lost to Wabash Valley on the 17th of January. They went ahead and hosted Vincennes University on the 21st, where Vincennes won that 82-57. Then they traveled to Kaskaskia, where they lost 91-78. In the month of February, in their 8 games, they hosted Lakeland, the opponent of tonight's game, or this afternoon's game, and they beat the Lakers 80-76. Then they took on the Trail, where they fell 84-61. And took SWIC to overtime on February 10th before falling by a single point of 72-71. Then on Valentine's Day, they took on the Saints of Shawnee, lost this one by 5 points at 60-55, before falling to Logan, the 2 seed, 89-68. Then on the 21st of February, taking on Wabash again, in the second go-around, losing this one by 12, 72-60, which if we go back up to the January score, they performed a little bit worse. Then after Wabash, Vincennes on Vincennes' community school night, losing by 40 points, 108-68, before taking on SWIC and losing by 24 points, a team they took to overtime in the first matchup. Just falling well short in the second one. And finally, Tuesday night's matchup against Kaskaskia in their regular season, they fall by 10 points, 88-78. Let's go ahead and look at that Kaskaskia game a little bit. Leading scores for the Blue Devils was Miles Liddell, who scored 26 points off of a 10-12 shooting performance. Alan Myers was 6 of 15 with 16 points, and Abu Faye and Antoine Tillman each finishing with 11 points. Tillman 4 of 10 shooting, while Faye 4 of 6 shooting and grabbing 12 rebounds. Alan Myers also grabbed 10 rebounds in that matchup. Jared Mackey finished 5 of 13, 3 of 5 from the foul line, and finished with 14 points as well to go along with 5 assists and 6 rebounds. For Olney, they were led by Jaden Eldridge, who was 6 of 12 shooting from the field, 4 of 9 from behind the arc, good for 20 points, followed up by Gabe Johnson, who actually led the scoring with 21 off of a 9 of 16 performance, also grabbing 6 rebounds and an assist. Eldridge finished with 6 assists and 3 rebounds as well. Jordan Babcock finishing 4 of 10 shooting, all 4 of his field goals from behind the arc, finishing with 14 points and 2 assists. You take a little bit look at that last game for Olney, and really it's going to be very interesting to see 4 p.m. Eastern time. As you see, that game goes up. This is going to go up probably around 10 a.m. Eastern time, so a little bit of time between the two events. Make sure you tune in. I believe for the opener, it is hosted by Lakeland, and you see by the time I'm recording how far away that game is. So once again, the Olney Central Blue Knights finishing the regular season with 1 win on the regular season for the district, and will travel to Lakeland to take on the Lakers. Now let's go ahead and talk about the 8th seed, the Lakeland Lakers, taking on Shawnee on the 21st of January, losing that by 5 points, 97-92. I knew that was going to be a high-scoring game going into it. Then on the 28th 8th of January, taking on Wabash Valley, losing that one 81-64. Before hosting Lincoln Trail and picking up a huge win, 82-75 over the Statesmen. Then let's go ahead and look at their month of February. Again, we talked about it a little bit. Losing to Olney 80-76 in that game. Olney's only win in the district coming against the Lakers. Then they travel to Kaskaskia College to take on John A. Logan. They had to travel to Kaskaskia because Logan's gym is doing some remodeling. They lose that game 89-71. Then they host Kaskaskia, losing that game by a single point of 82-81 before traveling to Vincennes for their second matchup, losing that 90-66. Then on the 21st of February, taking on SWIC, who I believe that's when we started this. No, just right before, where they won it in the first matchup. So the second matchup goes to the Blue Storm 67-53 before Shawnee being able to take a 12-point win away from them. Again, 5 points in the first game, 12 in the second matchup for the Saints. And then we had Wabash Valley winning by 8 points on Tuesday night. Let's go ahead and look at that matchup for the Lakers and Wabash Valley. For Wabash Valley, they were led in scoring by Cole Forlow, who was 10 of 15 shooting from the field, grabbing 12 rebounds, 9 of them being on the defensive end, and finishing with 24 points. Taj Ford was the only other Warrior in double figures off of a 4 of 13 shooting performance. 3 of 8 from behind the arc, dishing out 7 assists, grabbing 3 boards, and 3 steals as well. He finished with 11 points. Rafi Merriweather was close to being in double figures. He was 2 of 5 from the field, 5 of 7, however, from the foul line. Had 12 rebounds, 10 of them being on the defensive side. Had 2 blocked shots, finishing with 9 points. Off the bench, it was Michael Dempsey, 4 of 9 shooting from the field, 3 of 8 from behind the arc, and finishing with 11 points. For the Lakeland Lakers, they were led by Keenan Gray, who was 5 of 12 shooting from the field, 8 rebounds to go along with an assist and 19 points. And then the only other Laker in double figures was Peyton Baird, who was 4 of 13 shooting, but a perfect 6 of 6 from the foul line, grabbing 4 rebounds and 2 steals, finishing with 14 points. Off the bench, it was Rodrigo DeSantos, who was 3 of 5 shooting from the field, 4 of 4 from the foul line, having 5 rebounds as well, finishing with 10 points off the bench for Coach Larry. Again, no technical fouls in that game. That's always good to see. Again, Lakeland versus Olney Central in this first matchup, 4 p.m. Eastern. We saw the countdown clock again with the Olney Central guys. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Winner gets the 1 seed Vincennes, who we'll talk about a little bit later. Next up is the 7th seed, the Kaskaskia Blue Devils. For the first time in a couple of years, they do not play in the opening round game. They will take on John A. Logan in the 7-2 matchup. Speaking of, they started since we last saw them with that loss to Vincennes by 15 points. Then they took on John A. Logan on the 22nd of January. Remember, this is around the time where there was a snowstorm and games got postponed from time to time. Got moved around, I should say. So they lost to Logan 98-90. Then the Shawnee game got postponed here. That got moved on to later in the month or into February because there are some built-in off days for teams that if they had to reschedule. Then they took on Olney Central, where they won that game easily, 91-78, before finishing the month of January losing to Wabash Valley 82-75. In February, they started the month off with a huge win against SWIC, 64-61, before taking on the Kentucky Tropics, beating that team 132-64. Then taking on Shawnee February 11th, losing 75-65. On Valentine's Day, they beat the Lakers 82-81 before traveling to Robinson to take on the Statesmen, losing 79-74 on the 18th. Then the biggest upset of the district, I would say, they hosted Vincennes, winning that game 86-74, and really leading by double digits most of that second half against the Trailblazers. So that moved Vincennes from number 2 down to number 10 in the country. And then they took on Shawnee Logan, losing 90-72. Again, this game, Logan had to play at a couple different arenas. So big kudos to Southeastern Illinois, allowing the Volunteers to play their home games there for the most part. And again, Kaskaskia allowed Shawnee to play their home games as well because of the renovations happening to Logan, around Logan. Then on February 28th, Shawnee, traveling to Shawnee and losing 75-68 before, again, winning, and we already looked at this game against Olney Central 88-78. Once again, the bracket has Kaskaskia taking on the 2 seed John A. Logan in that one, and that should be a matchup that gets interesting, and I'll explain after I recap all the other teams in the district. Now we go to the 6th seed, the Shawnee Saints, and again, Shawnee played Lakeland January 21st, winning that game 97-92. The Kaskaskia game, as we just talked about, got postponed on the 24th, as well as the John A. Logan game on the 28th. So Ulan got hit hard by that snowstorm. They finally played again at the end of January at SWIC in Belleville, and they lost that game 89-80. In February, again, 8 games to play. They hosted Vincennes first, losing that one 77-60. Then taking on Kaskaskia, winning 75-65. Then traveling to Olney on Valentine's Day, winning that one 60-55. Low scoring affair there for the Saints before hosting John A. Logan and losing by 20, 90-72. On the 18th, they took on Wabash Valley, and this is their really rough week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, taking on Wabash Valley, losing that one 72-68. And then traveling to Lincoln Trail and losing by 15 at 80-55. Then they stay on the road, travel to Lakeland, win that game by 12, before coming back home finally and hosting Kaskaskia, winning that game 75-68. Before going to Logan at Renlake College on the 4th, and losing that final game 81-58. Let's go ahead and look at that game. For Shawnee, they were led in scoring by Jacques Calhoun, who was 5 of 9 shooting from the field and had 14 points. James Deloche was also in double figures, 5 of 12 shooting from the field, 11 points, had 10 rebounds, as well as Tyree Jackson, who was close to being in double figures, with 9 points off of a 4 of 9 shooting performance, grabbing 8 rebounds and dishing out 1 assist. Off the bench, Israel Welton had 6 points, 3 of 6 shooting, and Jacoby Jameson, 4 points, 1 of 3 shooting. For John A. Logan, they were led by Cameron McDaniels, 9 of 17 shooting from the field, white hot from behind the arc at 7 of 13, had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and finished with a team-high 30 points. Justice Decker, also in double figures, 5 of 13 shooting from the field, all 5 coming from behind the arc as well, finishing with 17 points and 4 rebounds. Marcus Eves was 2 of 5 from behind the arc, 6 of 17 overall, had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. He finished with 16 points for Coach Smith Peters. And again, really, McDaniels getting the start, getting 30 points, and shooting lights out from behind the arc for John A. Logan. picked up a huge win for the Vols against Shawnee. Shawnee comes in as the 6th seed, where they will take on the 3 seed Wabash Valley, who we'll get to in a little bit. Then we have the Lincoln Trail Statesmen, who took on SWIC on January 21st, winning 73-69 in that game, before traveling to Lakeland, losing by 5, 82-75 on the 31st of January. Then they only had 8 games left, all in February, starting with John A. Logan on the 2nd, losing that game 85-77 before hosting Vincennes and losing that one in a low-scoring affair by 5 points at 65-60. They then host Olney Central and beating the Blue Knights 84-61 before on Valentine's Day traveling to Mount Carmel to take on Wabash Valley, where they fell 88-65. On Wednesday, the 18th of February, they hosted Kaskaskia, winning that game 79-74 before pulling off back-to-back wins against Shawnee 80-55 in that game. Then taking on SWIC, losing 96-59 in Belleville. That was huge. Before their final game of the year, falling by 21 points to John A. Logan, 83-62. As you can see, Logan led start to finish in this one. Lincoln Trail was led by Mike White in scoring 13 of 26 from the field, 8 of 14 from behind the arc, grabbing 11 rebounds, dishing out 3 assists, finishing with team high 34. Then he was the only player in double figures. Jared Jackson had 8 points at 3 of 12 shooting, and Asher Evans had 6, 2 of 7 shooting, and Jalen Ellis 4 of 7 shooting. 6 rebounds for Ellis, coming the second highest in the team. He finished with 8 points. For John A. Logan, they were led in scoring by Christian Dorr, 7 of 9 from the field, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 17 points his line. Justice Decker finished with 11 points off of a 4 of 9 shooting performance, 8 rebounds, 6 of them being defensively, and had 4 block shots, finishing with 11 points. Marcus Eves finished with 12 points off of, along with 6 assists and 7 rebounds, finishing 3 of 10 shooting performance, 2 of 3 from behind the arc for Eves. Off the bench, it was Darkel Payne, who was 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from behind the arc. He finished with 12 points for Coach Smith Peters. This game was played in Carterville. So this was like the last game that these two teams played before. Logan was still playing on the road for the most part in January. So, again, Lincoln Trail finishing at 8-8 in the district, finishing right about where I thought they would be at the 4-5 seed. And they have a tough opponent in SWIC on their first day of tournament competition. Speaking of those pesky Blue Storm, they finished the month of January and February, starting off with the game on the 21st of January against Lincoln Trail on the road, losing 73-69 before hosting Vincennes on January 28th, losing that one as well by 5 points, 62-57. Again, defensive battle in Belleville always is between those two teams. Especially when you have two Hall of Fame coaching staffs going against each other. Then they travel to Shawnee, where they win this one 89-80. In February, they travel to Kaskaskia, lose by 3, 64-61. Then taking on Wabash Valley and losing 77-68. Before hosting Olney Central, winning that one again, that overtime thriller, 72-71 on February 10th. On Valentine's Day, they picked up a huge win against John A. Logan, 69-65. And again, minus the Kaskaskia win against Vincennes, I would say this was the biggest shocker in the district. Again, everybody thought Vincennes Logan would beat up on each other. whoever was going to win that second one or lose the second game was going to fall to the 2 seed. Logan just happened to do it first on Valentine's Day, and again, Vincennes loses later in the month. Then they play a non-district opponent in Lewis and Clark, win that game by 2 before going to Lakeland and winning by 14 at 67-53. Then they host Lincoln Trail again, 96-59, for the Blue Storm before traveling to Olney, winning 84-60. I forgot they went on the 6-game win streak after Wabash Valley's loss, after their loss to Wabash Valley, before going into their game against Vincennes on sophomore night, losing 77-69. Let's go ahead and look at this game. First, for the Blue Storm, they were led by nobody. And again, NJCAA not posting stat lines for SWIC. So I don't know if this is on the SID, if it's on the 80, if it's on the coach. Having nothing to go off of in this game. And again, this game happened Saturday. No, it happened Tuesday. So 3 days to post stats. And again, we've seen other teams have stats. So let's talk about the Trailblazers, I guess. Led and starter-wise by Lorenzo Malinini. 7 of 9 shooting from the field, finishing with 16 points. Jalen Callaway finishing 7-11 shooting from the field. 6 assists, 3 rebounds, finishing with 14 points. Dayton Williams getting a double-double, finishing with 10 rebounds, 13 points, off of a 5 of 8 shooting performance, with Elijah Lovemore, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 4 rebounds, and finishing with 10 points. Off the bench, it was Prince Ajugu, who was 4 of 5 shooting from the field and grabbing 4 rebounds on sophomore night, finishing with 11 points. And again, Vincent's just being able to shoot 53% from the field and 50% from the foul line. That's still not great for the Trailblazers, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. And again, just being able to pick up a win on sophomore night. I wish I had stats for SWIC. I just don't. There's nothing more I can really do there. SWIC takes on Lincoln Trail. Then we have the 3 seed Wabash Valley, where they traveled to Vincennes on January 24th. Again, this was right before that snowstorm hit, I believe. Losing that game 69-60. Then hosting Lakeland on the 28th of January. Winning that game 81-64. Before finishing the month of January off with an 82-75 victory over Kaskaskia. The month of February was 6 events for the Warriors, losing 94-86 against Logan, before picking up a couple of huge ones. First over SWIC, 77-68, and then Lincoln Trail 88-65. And let's just keep the wins going, as Shawnee picked up a loss against the Warriors, 72-68. So Wabash picking up 4 huge wins here against Olney Central 72-60, before falling short to Vincennes to end the month of February 91-60, and on Tuesday picking up a win against Lakeland 69-61. And again, we already looked at that game. Again, Wabash Valley picking up the 3 seed, taking on the 6 seed Shawnee. Again, going to be a very good game. These teams were evenly matched throughout throughout their 2 matchups in the regular season. Wabash picking up both wins by single digits. Again, that's going to be a great game to look forward to. The final game of day 2 in the quarterfinals at Rend Lake is Wabash against Shawnee. That's going to be a must-see game. Now, finally, the 2 seed due to a tiebreaker, the John A. Logan Volunteers. And boy, since December, John A. Logan has been one of the better teams in the country, let alone in the league. I knew they were going to be a great team, and that's why I picked them to finish second in this league. I did think that they would have 2 losses. I just thought both of them were going to be to Vincennes. So whoopsie on that one. Starting off, their late January to February into March against Kaskaskia at Kaskaskia, winning that one 98-90 before beating Vincennes, a huge one, 70-54 victory at the PE complex. February, more wins for the Vols. Starting at Robinson, 85-77, and then at Southeastern, beating Wabash Valley 94-86, before hosting Lakeland at Kaskaskia, 89-71. Again, the biggest surprise here was Valentine's Day, the 69-65 loss to SWIC. Then picking up a 20-point victory against Shawnee on the 16th of February. And then rolling over Olney by 21 points, 89-68. Then taking on Kaskaskia at Southeastern, the 92-72 victory there. Before finishing out the month of February against Lincoln Trail, 83-62. And their Wednesday game against Shawnee, the 81-58 victory. Again, Logan looks really dangerous. They do every year. I think it is going to be a very, very, very good tournament for the Vols. They're looking to pick up a at-large bid, or an automatic bid. I don't think they can get an at-large bid, even though they've been playing some really great basketball since December. I think it's just a little bit too much for them to overcome. So their only hope of getting to the dance is going to be through the district tournament. And finally, again, due to a tiebreaker, you have the number 1 seed in this tournament, the Vincennes Trailblazers, ranked number 10 in the country when this tournament gets started. They finished their season out like this, starting on January 21st against Olney Central, winning 82-57 before beating Wabash Valley right before the snow came, 69-60. Then they played that defensive battle in Belleville, 62-57 winners there, before losing to Logan, 70-54. In February, they pick up a gritty 5-point win against Lincoln Trail, 65-60, followed by a dominant win at Shawnee, 77-60. Playing a non-district opponent on Valentine's Day and picking up an 11-point win, 74-63 on the Good Samaritan night, which is used to be the K-Yow night. The Cancer night, I always enjoy that game and being able to see the shirts that they come out with for that one. Then taking on Lakeland at home, winning 90-66. Before, again, the biggest shocking loss in the district and possibly the country. The 12-point shellacking that they got at Kaskaskia in Centralia. 86-74. And again, they really did not look good in this ballgame. They come back with the little kiddos in attendance, beating Olney Central by 40, 108-68. Then traveling to Mount Carmel to handle the rivalry, winning by 31, 91-60, before hosting the sophomore night and winning 77-69 there. Again, going to be very interesting. My personal opinion, I don't see a way that Vincennes does not play at Hutch this year. I think their seeding at Hutch is determined by how far they go in this district tournament, but I think that Vincennes, even with a loss here, only 3 losses on the year, I don't see how you keep them out of the tournament, to be completely honest with you. But that's why I'm not on the selection committee, because I would think that about a lot of 3-loss teams, and a lot of 3-loss teams, it would be very interesting to see how they get down to the final 24. Let me just say that. So let's go ahead and jump into the first game of the district playoffs, starting with this afternoon's game of Olney Central and Lakeland. Well, that is the district rundown from the 9 seed to the top seed overall. Let's go ahead and go into the matchups of the district tournament, starting with this 8-9 matchup that is being played later on this afternoon, and I will have the link to that game in the pinned in the description, as well as pinned in the comments if you want to watch that one live, if you're watching this the day that this is posted. But the matchup, the two teams split the season series. Olney, or Lakeland, picking up the win on December 13th, 81-55. Olney getting their revenge in February 4th, 80-76. What does this really mean with these two teams? It's all going to be about which team shows up and what matchup we really see. Going into this game, the money says maybe Olney because they played in February and Olney was able to pick up that win. Although, I will say that was at the Dungeon, and when they played on the Lakers' home floor, Lakeland picked up that victory pretty handily. But again, that was all the way back in December, and the latest matchup had Olney win that game. It's going to be a good game, I think. I think it will be like the other two playing games that we've seen the last couple of years, where it's close towards the end. And who knows, maybe we see Olney pick up the upset against Lakeland. I just don't see it happening. I think that Lakeland will win today and head into that matchup against Vincennes on Monday. So then, looking again at the district tournament bracket here, we have a full day on Monday, starting with Vincennes and that 8-9 winner. For argument's sake, let's say that my pick of Lakeland was correct. The Vincennes versus Lakeland. That is going to be an interesting matchup because Vincennes, even though they won their first 2 matchups, it was not clean like Coach Franklin likes that to be a 90-66 victory in February and a 93-84 victory in overtime back in January. So that is going to be very interesting. Yes, Vincennes picked up a double-digit win in both those games. Yes, Vincennes' latest victory was more predominant. But I will say this. Lakeland and all these district teams have one advantage over the Trailblazers, and that's the fact that they've played on this floor. They know how those rims bounce. And I'll say this, for going against the Trailblazers, they have not really performed super well as the 1 seed historically. Last year, they were the 1 seed. They get bounced in the first round against Kaskaskia. The year before, yeah, they won it, but there have been times where they get bounced early in that 1-8 matchup, 1-9 matchup, and they make a deep run at Hutch. So who knows? It is the early game. It's the first game on the floor. It will be very interesting to see if Coach Franklin can get these guys locked in and ready to play. If they can, I see a huge win for Vincennes. But if they can't, like I said, that 1 seed has been the bugaboo for them in the last couple of years. Again, losing in 2019 to Kaskaskia, losing last year to Kaskaskia, I don't know if it's a Kaskaskia thing or if it's that 8-9 matchup being the 1 seed that is the problem for the Trailblazers. I guess we'll find out on Monday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, for that tip-off as the Trailblazers take on that 8-9 winner. Then the second game in Ina is going to be that 5-4 matchup, SWIC versus Lincoln Trail. And this is going to be very interesting as these two teams just saw each other on February 25th. And again, that was a big win for SWIC, 96-59. But Lincoln Trail got the initial win on January 21st, 73-69. It's a 4-5 matchup. This game's always difficult to figure out who's going to win. If SWIC comes out hitting their shots like they did in that matchup on the 25th, they are a very dangerous team in this tournament. But that being said, who knows? Because Lincoln Trail has made some noise in this tournament as of late. Last year especially, and even the year before, they were able to get to Ina after that victory against Kaskaskia back in the 23-24 season. It's going to be, can Lincoln Trail lock down Daquan Little and Matthew Cooper-Relzi? And on the flip side, can SWIC just play their game like they did against the Trail on the 25th? Because I'm looking at the stat line. Yeah, Lincoln Trail had 3 players in double figures, but they had no bench presence as well. And that's always been a soft spot for the Trail. And it's just going to be an interesting game. It's a 4-5 matchup. Enjoy this one. And the second to last game is going to be the 2-seed John A. Logan taking on the 7-seed Kaskaskia Blue Devils. In this one, it's going to be an interesting matchup, as John A. Logan, again, won their latest matchup against Kaskaskia on the 25th of February, 90-72. Before that, they won back in January 22nd, 98-90. Going to be a very interesting game. Logan was able to score 90 points both times against Kaskaskia. And the biggest thing here, too, is they just recently played on Rend Lake's floor, so they know how that ball bounces a little bit better, I believe. And for that reason, and again, Coach Smith-Peters, all-around tournament time, he gets his teams ready to play. And they're always a tough opponent in this district tournament. And this year is going to be no different. I mean, the only thing that I see against them is the fact that it's hard to beat a team 3 times. And that's what they'll have to do against Kaskaskia. Coach Hancock's an experienced coach, and it's going to be interesting to see. I just see Logan being the more dominant team, the more physical team. And in this tournament, that's how you win the game. And I think it's going to be Logan. I think it will be more closer to that 90-72 victory than it was the 98-90 victory. With that being said, I think it's still going to be a fun game to watch on Monday night, the first game of the evening session of that. It's weird how they don't have the 3-6. Next, it is the 7-2, and closing with the 3-6 matchup. Like I said, in the recap of the schedule, this game is going to be probably the best game of day 1 in Ina. Day 2 of the tournament, day 1 in Ina, is the Shawnee Wabash Valley game. Wabash Valley picked up the season sweep in the regular season. And again, beating a team 3 times is always the most difficult thing to do in college sports, especially in college basketball. Beating a team 3 times in college basketball is notoriously hard, especially when both games were single-point victories for Wabash Valley. A 61-59 victory on January 14th, and then a victory of 72-68 on February 18th. So again, going to be very interesting to see. The big plus side for Shawnee is they just played on this floor against John A. Logan on Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see if that helps them or not. I always think that since both teams have had a game on this floor, kind of evens out when they face Rend Lake, and now Shawnee has that one extra game on the floor. But that's why we play the game. Beating a team 3 times is hard. And I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. And so I think this might go in the way of Shawnee. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I think it will be a single-digit game regardless. If Coach McGee's team pulls out the victory, wouldn't be surprised either. Both teams are very well coached. I have a lot of respect for both Coach McGee and Coach Sparks. It's going to be a fun game. And to close out day 2 of that tournament, you couldn't ask for a better matchup, I think. I think this is the matchup that is a must-see if you had to only tune into one matchup. But obviously, all 4 games are going to be broadcasted on the LeBron YouTube page and I believe the Logan YouTube page. I'll double-check that later, and I'll make a note probably where I'll keep the link to the Lakeland Olney game. But historically, LeBlanc has hosted all the whole tournament, so hopefully they do it again this year. It's going to be very fun. First day of the tournament. I mean, it's tournament time. Maybe it's March Madness. What more can we ask for, especially as we get ready for this tournament? INA again, Monday, March 9th. The opening round salvo is later this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's Lakeland versus Olney Central for that game. And then the winner of that game has the first game against Vincennes, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday, March 9th. I will try, don't hold me to it, but I will try my best to do end-of-day recaps and post them either late Monday night or Tuesday morning. I do have to get up early Tuesday, so that has been one of the main reasons why I haven't been able to post as often as I wanted to. That early morning is rough, but I'll at least have it recorded and ready to go. At least 90% of it. The last game I might have to do at a later date and time. But again, I haven't lost interest in this district. My late teens till now, I have followed this district religiously, and I love every second of it. Even if I'm not able to talk about it, I have enjoyed everything that this district has provided me. And I look forward to it again this week as we see great basketball all week long. That's going to do it for this episode. I will see you all probably Tuesday night. Until then, peace.